I have a tip today about how to control what properties a member of your design team can see and edit when placing items from the DataGroup catalog. I'm going to create a custom door for my project and then make sure it stays consistent or standard throughout my project and does not get modified by the user placing a door in the model. I'll start by opening the door tool and selecting a door from the library that is similar to the one I need to create. Now let me adjust a few of the settings. I'll leave the frame depth, frame width, and leaf thickness, which are fairly standard for hollow metal frames in masonry walls. I might change the leaf angle if my company has a different standard for drawings. I can go ahead and create a door type ID so that it is consistent throughout the model. If I'm basing the door on a particular manufacturer that I plan to specify, I could add that information. I'll change the door type. I'll add the door material and the door finish. This door will have glazing, and we may even want to add a note indicating the glazing size, but let's come back to that in a minute. I'll add the frame type and finish. Now let's go down to the extended dimensions, which is where we will actually customize the door. Note there is a head extension that will increase the head frame by 2 inches, giving us a 4-inch top frame to align with our CMU joint. I will change the base offset to 2 feet. This is the offset to the bottom of the glass. The style width will determine the glass dimensions unless I override the width or height. So I will set the width to 8 inches, but leave the glass height as is. That way, if a user needs to make a taller door, the glass height will adjust as well. This means for my typical 7-foot door, I will have a glass dimension of 8 inches by 4'6". I could go back and add that note to the glass size property. Okay, now I will save this door as a new item in my project catalog. I'll give it a name that indicates it is my project standard, and then save it to my work set. So now that I have the standard door set up, how can I make sure that users do not modify the settings when they place the door in the model? Well, let's open the door in the Catalog Item Manager. Note that there are 2 columns here, Editable and Hidden. The first determines if a property is editable on placement. The second determines if the property is even visible in the placement dialog. So for instance, we may want to make sure that the frame depth of 5 3/4 inches is not modified. So we will just toggle off the editable box. Whereas we will keep it on for the width and the height so a user can change the basic dimensions of the door. If we don't want the user to change the frame depth by selecting the Match Wall option, then we could toggle on Hidden and they won't even have that option. We may want to make some of the other standard dimensions not editable. Note that the louver properties are hidden since the door does not have a louver. Keep in mind you can hide certain properties in the early stages of modeling and then expose them later when you are ready to add that data, like hardware, for instance. You may wish to hide all the custom dimensions. This will keep the door standard and limit the amount of properties that a user has to sort through in the placement dialog. If there are properties that you don't use or properties that you don't want users setting, then just hide them and clean up the placement dialog. Now let's save our changes. I'll go ahead and change the door width, which is still an editable property, but note that other dimensions are now grayed out. Also note that we have reduced the amount of properties visible in the dialog. So I will go ahead and place my custom door, knowing it meets the requirements of the project and nothing has been inadvertently modified.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.